A letter from the road transport operators on Wednesday was to the effect that transport fares are to be reduced effective Wednesday by 10%. And this, they say, has been triggered by the downward trend in the price of petroleum products. Now, this was to affect operators in the shared taxis, haulage, intercity and intracity, which are widely referred to as the trotros. However, the situation looks different on the ground. Our interview with drivers at Tema Station, a major transport terminal in Accra, revealed a consistent concern among them. Drivers in this category strongly believe that the directive to decrease fares by 10% is detrimental to their business. They argue that the escalating prices of spare parts and other operational components make the overall cost of doing business high. As a result, many transport operators have yet to implement the fare adjustment as of Wednesday, the scheduled day for its implementation.
I have not changed anything.
Yeah. But do you know that there's supposed to be some sort of reduction?
Yes.
Have you heard of it?
Yes, I've heard of it, that they have reduced the petrol for like 10%, so they need to reduce it, but they haven't do it yet.
And how do you feel that they've not reduced it? Ideally, it's supposed to be reduced.
Yeah, you see, nowadays things are not going on well, and the lorry fare to, let's say if you are going to buy something from the town to this place, a lot of money. Before you get the things, you have spent more than 100 and over on lorry fare transportation. Yeah.
So, but have you been able to ask the drivers or the mates on why they've not reduced it?
No.
Did you ask?
No. When people ask them, they fight with them. Some will insult them. So I don't want to put myself in any rubbish things, you see.
I am worried. Very worried, because they have reduced the petrol, so they must to reduce the lorry fare too.
But do you know that ideally they are supposed to reduce it by 10%? Do you know? Have you heard of the news?
I have heard it, but still they have not reduced it. We don't know why. If you ask them, they will not say anything. They will just fight with you. Tell like you are not anybody. They insult you very well. So if you go and ask them, like, why have you not reduced the lorry fare? Even the driver also insult you some.
The station master for the Accra Pim station mentioned that although his members do not support the fare reduction, they will begin implementing the adjustment starting Thursday.
Now, the young chairman, Mr. Big Afu, or the 2 young and him say, young calculation, if you are 10%. Now you reducing for the passengers. If you Kofodu so it's say scale to scale. If you happen the acquire Rania, who do a water and when passenger bia or reba. Do transport unions were probably Untum Kojino, Semijana, my man, Avanti, about the trotro and Beba. Kofodu scale to scale, Inti, Yanni Kofodu Afonoso, I communicate once with a fin, a warrior won't beat him. Until by the close of the day, you better wonka. If you watch a
The directive by road transport operators aims to alleviate the burden on passengers as the prices of petroleum products continue to decline. However, the Concerned Drivers Association, a driver union, vehemently opposes the directive.
When we were bargaining, then we were buying fuel at 11 cedis 65 pesos. We were bargaining. It reached 23 cedis before we were allowed to charge the fares. So if it reached 23 cedis before we were allowed to charge the fare, and it comes down to 18, when it came down to 18, we reduced the fare. We didn't complain, because by then we think things were normal. So we didn't complain. Let us speak with you. Things are not normal. We are just shoring things up with the reduction of the fuel price. Other than that, we could have increased transport fare last 2 months ago, because engine, spare parts, name it, all goes up. Outrageous. Engine that we used to buy 45 sell at 120. So where will we get the money to buy those parts? Talk less of other components.
In response, the Ghana Road Transport Union GPRTU urged all transport operators to comply with the directive.
Some of our members are saying that, looking at the fuel component, the other components have ever met some kind of increment. You go to the spare parts, they have increased. Go to lubricants, they have increased. Go to the fees where we talk about DBLA, the whatever, they've all increased. So why is it that we are raising? We said, no, looking at the fuel component, which is actually the larger part of the daily running cost, and which is actually the reference point where we fare increment normally come. So from 15.99, if it has come down to 12.17, and reasonably we reduce by 10%, I don't think it is too much for us to say we can't do. It's not too much for us to say we cannot do that. As a body, as a union, that has our customers at heart. We can do that. But I also want to add that someone should not think that some officer or big man or minister is pushing us to do it. No.
It appears that there is a divided opinion on whether or not to reduce transport fares by 10%, as has been announced by the road transport operators to take effect on Wednesday. Now, the authorities involved, GPRT, says that they are on their part hopeful that their members would adhere to this directive and reduce price or transport fares by 10% going forward. Reporting for Citi News, my name is Kweku Aduamansa.